All right, hey everyone, it's March the 13th, the year 2017, Monday, and I really do try to look to the Bible, the King James Bible, Bible, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, as my instruction manual, as my guideline.
For everything.
For how to live my life, for how to engage in warfare with the enemy. It is what I look to. I believe that all the answers that we need as human beings and as children of the living God are in this book. And so I just want to read Matthew 18, 15 through 17. It talks specifically about resolution and conflict between the brethren. Matthew 18:15 says, "Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault, between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother." Verse 16, "But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses, every word may be established." Verse 17, "And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an let him be unto thee as an heathen man and a publican." All right, so Schaeffer has been in a CMU prison. He's very hard for him to communicate outside of his prison. He's just recently been reestablished phone privileges after having them taken away because of a silly phone call he made to Wally Drake, and they just make up charges and put him in CMU prison.
And violate his First Amendment.
They violated his First Amendment, and he should have been able to call Wally Drake, and it wasn't breaking any prison regulations, but they claim that it did. They just make up the rules as they go along. That's what the counterterrorism unit based out of Virginia do when they classify you as being in a CMU prison, Communications Management Unit prison. Why am I making this video? Okay, Aaron and I just today got our very first phone call from Schaeffer Cox. We've been advocating for this man since I would say May of last year. That's my best recollection. And we've never talked to him. It's always been through the letters or email, and I've studied the case as best as I can. And my study and my research tells me he's innocent of all the charges, and he was targeted by a corrupt polar pen Department of Justice up there in Alaska. Okay, the same guys who went against United States Senator Ted Stevens. There's books written about it. Okay, the bottom line is that Schaeffer has had a problem with the AFL board, Alaskans for Liberty board, for some time now. Probably maybe more than a year. I don't know all the details. And he's been trying to work through them individually in a private way, just like the Bible says. But he's been unable to come to any sort of resolution. And there has been suggestion that all of this mess that has recently propped up and gone public, and I've made videos about it, and I said I really don't like being in the middle of this because it involves some people that I considered friends. And it's one thing to call out evildoers in government who are imprisoning our brothers and sisters. It's a whole other thing to call out somebody that you considered a friend. And so you guys will have to bear with me as I do my best to get through this situation. Here's what I want to convey from our phone call that we just had with Schaeffer, okay? And my wife is here, and she can help my recollection. And if I did record it, or if I didn't record it, that's our business. But I'm just going to say that we're not going to put out the recording if we did record it. But here's the deal: I can tell you that I spoke with Schaeffer and that it was his voice, right? And that this isn't anything that's being instigated by the CTU to cause chaos or confusion amongst Schaeffer supporters. There's been suggestions that Schaeffer is either crazy or this is all being done by the counterterrorism unit to cause problems. I'm telling you that I heard from Schaeffer's own voice, and I 100% believe that it was him, that he's having a problem with the Alaskans for Liberty board, and that he needs our help in resolving that, okay? Because he's in prison, and I have heard that they think they're communicating with him, but I'm hearing from others that they're, turning down his phone calls. They're not responding to his letters.
Returning his letters unopened.
They're returning his letters unopened, and so I am going to relay 4 things that Schaeffer would like to happen from the Alaskans for Liberty board. Now, when I read these 4 things, if anybody on the Alaskans for Liberty board truly wants to help Schaeffer, they can respond to Schaeffer directly, or if they want to respond to me privately, my phone number is 972-839-9848. I don't know who's on the Alaskans for Liberty board. They claim to be wanting to help Schaeffer, and I assume that they are, right? But here's the 4 things that Schaeffer would like the Alaskans for Liberty board to produce and then, I guess part and separate ways. But at this point, Schaeffer would like, number one, any monies that's left over to be sent to Angela Clemons, who Schaeffer considers a trusted supporter. She is currently putting together the website, freeschaeffer.com. I know Angela Clemons, and for what it's worth, we have a rapport and a relationship, and Schaeffer has made a decision that he trusts her, and he wants any money from the Alaskans for Liberty Board that's left over to be sent to Angela Clemons.
That's his decision.
That's his decision, right? That's his call. Number two, he wants the Alaskans for Liberty Board to send the full donor list to Angela Clemons. Supposedly, whether it be a Maria or Richard or whoever else is in the Alaskans for Liberty Board, they have a donor list, and the donor list belongs to Schaeffer in Schaeffer's opinion, and I agree with him. So that donor list needs to be sent to Angela Clemons. Number three, Schaeffer would like a full accounting of all the monies raised and spent using his name. And he feels very concerned that he has a responsibility to people who donated for his legal cause. And when he gets out, he wants to make sure that all the donors, that everything was done on the up and up. And he cannot do that if he doesn't have a full accounting from the Alaskans for Liberty Board of what they've raised and what they've spent.
That's a reasonable request.
That's a very reasonable request. So that's number three. Number four, Schaeffer would like the contact information of the fundraising donation company. I think it's called Eberle, Eberle. He would like the address of Eberle and contact information for their attorney. Okay? And that's a reasonable request. If the Alaskans for Liberty were raising money in Schaeffer's name and they were using Eberle as a fundraising company to do that, Schaeffer would like their contact information and their attorney contact information. Okay, so that was the four requests that I wrote down from our conversation. If anybody with the Alaskans for Liberty Board wants to contact me, it's more than likely that I can confirm that those come from Schaeffer's own words, and I can tell you that I heard it with my own ears, and my wife heard it, and we want to just relay the information. I think once we get those four things from Schaeffer, everybody can just continue to go on with their business. But that's because basically I asked Schaeffer, I said, this thing has gotten very public. People are being called out. And I said, what is your goals? And he told me those are his four goals. Okay, and I'll cover them again real quick. Any money that's left over, send to Angela Clemons. Send the full donor list to Angela Clemons. Give a full accounting of any monies raised and spent to Angela Clemons. Send the Eberle contact information and the attorney for Eberle. Send that contact information to Angela Clemons. So did I miss anything, sweetie?
He sounded very good, but he said that he'd lost a lot of weight because he hasn't had enough money to buy food, and they're not letting him buy food.
He did say this whole thing stresses him out. He does not like the infighting. He's got much more important things to work on than dealing with the board and infighting with the board. And you can understand that he would like to focus his attention on more substantial matters than this infighting with the board. And so I just wanted to relay this. I'm going to try to get this to whoever I can. If you happen to know anybody on the board, get them this video. God bless and have a great day.